everyone, welcome back to Clues by Sam. It's Tuesday today and we have a median one, and if you don't know what Clues by Sam is, it's a daily logic puzzle game where you have 20 people each day on a board, and some may be criminals, the other ones are innocents, and you gotta figure out what each person is using the clues that they themselves give you. I'm here every day doing this and I encourage you to try. A median one is not so bad, but every Monday there's a easy one if you want to do it for the first time, but if you want to try today, there is a link in the description that can take you there. Or if you just want to follow along, maybe you get stuck and I can help you with my logic, I'm going to show that right now. Let's start. Let's see, Ellie telling us that Henry and Uma have two innocent neighbors in common. Oh, we're entering Christmas territory, so we have Olaf being a snowman today. But the clue is talking about Henry and Uma. So Henry and Uma have two neighbors in common, and two of them are innocent. So both of them are innocents. Olaf says, cool. And we don't need Ellie's clue anymore. Now Petra says there are no innocents in column A who neighbor K. So K has two people neighboring her in column A, and she's also in column A, so none of the people that neighbor her are innocents, which means that Frank and Raul are criminal. And now Raul tells us that Gus is one of Linda's 4 criminal neighbors. So Gus is a criminal. Linda has 4 criminal neighbors, only one more to find, because Frank, Gus, and Raul all neighbor Linda. So we have 3 of them already. Now Gus tells us that Zaya is one of 2 criminals to the right of Vince. To the right of Vince, there's 3 people. Zaya is one of them who is a criminal. The other 2 have 1 criminal and 1 innocent among them, but we don't know who yet, so let's leave that clue there as well. Zaya tells us now there's an odd number of innocents in row 5. So we know there's 1 innocent here in row 5, and the other person that we don't know about is Vince. If Vince were to be an innocent, then we would have 2 innocents in row 5, which is an even number, so Vince couldn't be an innocent, which means that he's a criminal. We don't need Zaya's clue anymore now. Now Vince tells us that an odd number of innocents on the edges neighbor Terry. Terry has 5 people neighboring him on the edges. Clue is talking about innocents. We know there's going to be 1 innocent here who's either going to be Wanda or Zara. The second one is Petra, and that's 2. That's an even number. So we need 1 more innocent, and that person could only be Uma to make the 3rd innocent neighboring Terry on the edges. Nice, and we don't need Vince's clue anymore. Now Uma tells us there's only 1 innocent in between K and Petra. And that innocent is Olaf. So that means that Linda is a criminal. We don't need Uma's clue anymore. Now Linda tells us that row 3 has more innocents than any other row. So we know that any other row, we don't know about K yet. So how do we deal with that? Let's think about this. If K were to be a criminal, K would be the last criminal neighbor for Linda, because Linda has 4 criminal neighbors. If that happens, both Sam and Terry have to be innocents. And that breaks Linda's clue, because now row 4 has more innocents than row 3. Row 4 has 3 innocents and row 3 has 2. So K couldn't be a criminal, which means that the row that has more innocents has 3 innocents. So no other row could have 3 innocents, and that makes it so that Sam and Terry couldn't be both of them innocents. So that would make row 4 and row 3 have the same number of innocents. So we know that Sam and Terry are a one or the other. And we know that Henry is an innocent, because Linda's 4th criminal neighbor is down here. So Henry has to be an innocent. Now K tells us that both criminals in row 1 are connected. So we know that Brian has to be a criminal, because he's the only one who's connected to any other person who could be a criminal. Ellie doesn't really matter in that situation. So Brian is a criminal. And we know that Arnold and Deborah are a one or the other. Now Brian tells us that Zara and him have an equal number of innocent neighbors. And we know the total of innocent neighbors for Brian is Henry, who is an innocent, plus someone up here who's going to be one as well. So that's 2, which means that Zara has to have 2 innocent neighbors. And her last neighbor who could be something is Terry. So he has to total the 2 innocent neighbors. And because of Terry, Sam is a criminal. Now Sam tells us that, yeah, we don't need Brian's clue anymore. Now Sam tells us that each column has at least 1 innocent. So we know that column B has to have at least 1 innocent. And there's only one person who could be an innocent in that column. That's Wanda. So Wanda has to be an innocent and Zara has to be a criminal because of that. Now every other column already has at least 1 innocent. So we don't need Sam's clue anymore. Now Wanda tells us that column C is the only column with exactly 3 innocents. Column C already has 3 innocents revealed. So Deborah has to be a criminal. And because of Deborah, Arnold has to be an innocent. Now, since we know that column C is the only one with 3 innocents, column D has to have 1 more innocent so that it doesn't remain with 3, which means that Isaac is an innocent. And we are done. Good. That's a median one in 5 minutes. I'm very, very happy with that. All green. And that will be it for today. A very short one because, like I said yesterday, I'm still on vacation. So I'm gonna go out and enjoy my day. And I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back here again tomorrow with more Clues by Sam. Let me know if you did play it and if I helped you with anything. Otherwise, see you tomorrow.